Hey guys, welcome to the channel today. Thanks for stopping by. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Kirk Holding. I'm one of the top producing agents here in Spokane, North Idaho. I've been doing it a long time. I don't say that to brag. I just want to, we've got a lot of information I want to pass on to you that might help you in your decision buy or sell here in Spokane or North Idaho. We're getting a lot of questions. Is it the right time to sell right now? And I got to be honest, we want to go over some of the reasons why it might be. And, there might be some reasons to not sell right now. And wanted to focus a lot on those today in this video because we've got a lot of experience that we can hopefully help. We've made mistakes and can help you learn from some of those things that we've experienced in the past. Like I said, we get a lot of questions. Is it the right time to sell right now? I can tell you about the market right now is we're in fall 2023. Interest rates are at 7-8%. We had a little bit of a dip last week, and it kind of feels a bit like a deserted desert out there in some of the listings that we're seeing. We're getting some showings, or we're getting lower offers, or no interest at all, and not sure what to do. And so of course, there's going to be reasons you want to consider when you are selling a home. Maybe you had a death in the family, or a divorce, or job loss, or it's just you've had a baby and need to upgrade the house. Those are all good reasons that you may want to sell right now, and that's okay. But wanted to touch on some of the reasons that you may not, and we're going to focus a lot about that in this video. For me, I've had the opportunity to own a lot of real estate, and it's a great way to build long-term passive income. It's a great way to build wealth. It's a great way to build generational wealth. But I have a lot of regrets that things I wish I would have done differently when with real estate, and mainly hanging on to the real estate. As an example, back in 2007, 2008, when the market kind of started to turn south, we had a couple of properties, a partner and I, that had turned into rental properties. And basically, I wish we would have held on to them. We were dealing with maintenance, quite a bit of maintenance around them. They were older properties that really weren't meant to be rentals in the first place. We were trying to turn and burn on them, but didn't work, so they turned into rentals. But as the market shifted, we got scared and we waited a little bit. But I wish we would have waited another 10 years, because those properties are worth 30-40% more if we'd waited. And so one piece of advice I would give you right now is to wait and try and hold on to that real estate if you're not falling into some of these other categories that we mentioned earlier in selling. Now we want to talk about if you don't fall into some of those reasons, death, divorce, job loss, just trading up, then again, trying to hold on to that real estate as long as you can is going to build that most of your wealth. And one of those is trying to time the market. Don't try and time the market. Don't know how many times seen clients try and do it. And if you played around in the stock market, crypto, real estate, I think most people just end up getting lucky when they do make some big gains or profits on real estate. Personally, I think real estate, it's not a liquid asset. It's meant to be held long term. Of course, you got guys flipping and doing other things, but they're buying those a lot cheaper margins. Some things that you got to think about when you're trying to time that market is selling real estate. Obviously, you got big closing costs to move a property. Trying to buy it, and especially in this market where we've had some pretty big gains, it's hard to get cash flow if you're looking to turn into a rental. So if you've got some of these properties that maybe have a great interest rate, or you've bought because you bought a long time ago, again, try and hang on to them. I just went to a course the other day that talked about 1031 exchanges, and I loved one of the phrases in there was 1031 till you die. Keep pushing off that capital gain tax, and hopefully you've built some wealth and then can pass it on to your family without capital gains tax. But again, that means holding those properties through those tough times when tenants may not be paying rent on time, or maybe you got to chase some evictions or maintenance, all the stuff that comes along with that. But if you're going to build that long-term passive income, again, try not to time that market. It's super hard to do, especially right now. Things are declining. Just seeing a lot of fear, uncertainty, doubt, and it's scaring people and going, oh no, do we sell? And it's always the worst time to sell stuff is when you're doing things out of fear, FOMO. Capital gains. I get a ton of questions about capital gains when we're selling real estate. If you're filing single, you have that $250,000 exemption. If you're filing married, you've got $500,000. But that number for what your tax rate is depends on your income you make too. If you're in a higher income earning bracket, it's going to be different. So I always encourage you to talk to an accountant on that. But big reason not to sell. When you add up your capital gains and then you have your recapture depreciation, if you've been depreciating that asset over years as a rental, it eats a huge chunk of your bottom line profit margin. So again, if you do want to sell, or you're wanting to trade into a different property, highly recommend that 1031. If you're a homeowner and just feeling the itch, like, hey, let's maybe trade up into a house, there are other options you might want to take a look at, such as a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. I've had several clients go get HELOCs because they've, don't want to get rid of the house, want to keep that great interest rate, but want to take some money out and use for the down or pay cash for another property. And the nice thing is that's not a taxable event. You don't have to pay taxes on that. You're just borrowing money from your existing house. I will say right now, though, we've had a couple of clients have gone into several banks. A lot of them aren't doing HELOCs, but there are still several out there. The rate's going to be a lot higher right now, but is an option to preserve that real estate. Maybe you bought, maybe you're one of those that had the 2.75% interest rate or 3% interest rate, and that's like gold right now. And so again, if you can hang on to it, great. Another way to build that generational wealth, or just money in general. And it's not all about money when it comes to life, of course, but if you're thinking more on that retirement financial planning end of it, again, try and hang on to that house. And that's one technique that we've used with our clients to get them multiple properties. Another thing too is, especially right now, I'm encouraging all my agents is try and cut back on expenses. Things are shifting. Try and live on a budget, put off those temptations right now to go buy those things that maybe just don't appreciate, like real estate, cars, boats, and that's hard because I love all that stuff. Fun to have the toys to play around, but building that wealth, if you can save for that next investment property, or maybe even pay down some of your rentals right now. I'm trying to do that with several of my properties, is get them paid down so they're cash flowing better and becoming passive, income for me. But again, I saw a lot of this in 08, 09, just people getting scared, and that's kind of when we got into trying to keep rentals and property management as a way to preserve that, have an answer to some of our clients to keep that real estate intact, so that it can continue to grow and see some of the gains that we have seen. In some of the areas in Kootenai County, we saw a couple of years in the 20-30% plus gains each year. It's just absolutely crazy. So anyway, long-term, stay in it for the long term. Okay, if after all that you've decided, let's get the house on the market, we are going to sell. One thing you've absolutely got to consider is thinking ahead 2-3 months, maybe even 6 months before you get ready to put the house on the market, is reach out to your realtor, have them come do a walkthrough. You don't have to discuss value or anything, because it's probably going to change by the time you get it on the market, but talk, what can we do to get the house ready for sale? Right now, I've noticed a big shift I'd say last 5-10 years. It seems like most buyers want it more turnkey. They either don't have the money or don't have the know-how to do big fix-up projects or big renovation projects. And so or if they are, they're getting bids from contractors, and I can't believe what stuff is costing these days in construction. Every time I see a bid lately for windows or siding or kitchens, it takes my breath away. It's just so expensive, and so it's so important to try and do as much as you can that makes financial sense to get that house ready, to present it in the best light before you get buyers start coming through there. Because once you got buyers coming through, it's too late. And if you haven't made those changes, it's hard to go back and fix once you're live on market. One of those things we highly encourage is getting the house staged. Not all houses are going to need staging. I've got one right now, typically a smaller house that it's more beneficial to show it, show the size of it, the space. That one we advise or so, let's get this thing vacant. It'll just show bigger, the rooms will show bigger. Versus some bigger houses, most of the houses are going to fall in the category of let's get it staged. And that doesn't mean we have to get professional staging. Sometimes it does. It is expensive, but we do have contacts that can help with that. We've got a great staging packet that we bring to our listing that we can drop off in that initial, 2 to 3 month out listing that you can work through punch list wise to get the house staged yourself and ready for the market. We'll go over some of those things that you would do and not do. There's things to not do in a house sometimes to get it ready. One example, we've got a listing right now that the house was built in the 70s, got great bones, great floor plan, but it is dated everywhere. The seller did recently upgrade the countertops, and to be honest, I wish they would have talked to us and we could have put that money somewhere else. That probably would have got them more money because they put brand new countertops that look great, but they're on a dated canvas, if you will. And so it was better for them to put it more towards maybe doing some carpet in the basement or a fresh paint in the living room or some other things on that house. But we'll go over all that and kind of evaluate where you're at situation wise, but absolutely you've got to pay attention and declutter. Get just enough stuff in there via staging to put the furniture you got to present that house in the best light possible. It will pay dividends come time when you find that buyer, and less headache as you're getting through, especially with mechanical stuff. You want to take care of that stuff beforehand. Make sure that those basic parts, furnace, plumbing, appliances are all working, because that's all going to come up in an inspection. So if you can head it off, get it early, it's going to save you a lot of stress and money. Critical piece is get proper representation, someone that's going to have your back, someone that has the experience, they've been in the trenches, they know, I always tell my clients, we should be making you money or selling money every time we talk to you. And that comes with experience and doing deals and becoming an expert negotiator. It's crazy what I see some of the agents. It's really sad that they're, hurting their clients, costing them money, and their clients don't even know it out there. One is realtors, still shooting pictures with their cell phones, which is just crazy in this time. You definitely want professional photography that will showcase that house and really show people, online what it's looking like. So they'll call their realtor and come take a look. We've got a list of questions. We'll put in the link that you might want to ask your realtor, before you make that decision on who to go with. It's going to give you that proper representation. Again, a bad realtor can lose you a lot of money, but on that same, on the other side of that, a good realtor can make you and save you tons of money. They're worth their weight in gold. And so make sure you interview and really understand what you're getting before you make that hire. And again, on that same vein, if you're wanting to sell and you've got that, hopefully you're in a position where the house is appreciated, you've got some equity where it's making sense. Or you just, like I said, life happens. Maybe you can't stand your neighbor. Something's changed in your life. You've got to move. Just, beware when you're upsizing to be cognizant of, you're going to have higher taxes if you're trading up. You're going to have probably more maintenance stuff. You got a bigger house. You got more furnishings to think about. It just all starts to add up. And you want to make sure you kind of plan that out, put some reserves away if you are doing that trade up. I wanted to touch one strategy if you just can't, I wish I would have kind of done this when I was younger, because I could move around without my kids being locked into schools and things, is buy every 2 years. Reason for the 2 years is to try and stay out of paying capital gains tax as well. Because if you live in the house for the last 2 years, last 2 of the 5 years, then you're exempt up to those IRS figures for capital gains tax. So I know guys that would go, they build a house, move into it, and got lucky timing it, trying to time it, and made some pretty good gains, and they just moved every 2 years and just kept rolling it, growing it. I've heard of all other stories too, where they roll it, and then just got too cocky and got into that big house that wasn't a good move for them. So again, be cautious when you're doing that. But if you just have that itch where you've just got to be a mover and shaker and can't hold on to those properties, I would stay in 2 years and then make your move from there. Okay, so again, recap on this video. If you've been fortunate enough to own or have real estate assets, do all you can to preserve and save those as long as you can to build that wealth. It's not easy to get in and out of real estate. So if you made some good decisions, you have that, especially if you have maybe one of those lower interest rates that were hard to get and you may never see those again. Just take your time when making a decision on, do I sell right now? Again, I'm Kirk Holding with the Living in Spokane, North Idaho team. Love to interview for the job. If you're looking to sell and you've made that decision, we are going to sell. Happy to come out and have an easygoing, no pressure conversation to confirm that is what you want to do, that makes sense right now. All our contact info is in the description there. Shoot us a text, send us an email. We're standing by. We'd love to get to know you face to face and help you make that transition on selling your house. So again, every time we talk, we'll hope we're saving you money or making you money, and we'll see you on the next video.